English's nightmare in prison began with his crime, one involving his own child.
I had a beautiful baby boy, 3 months old. I was going around making phone calls, and I was waiting for somebody to call me back, and I was playing with my son, and I accidentally dropped him. And when I did, he landed on the back of his head. We had hardwood floors in the house, so he fractured his skull in the back when he landed, and he went into a seizure.
When the police arrived, they saw a very different story. English already had 2 warrants for battery on his record, and the evidence suggested that English had shaken and beaten his son.
They arrested me for aggravated battery and cruelty to children, and then when they pulled the plug on my son's life, they upgraded the charges to malice murder, cruelty to children, aggravated assault, aggravated battery, and then they stuck on 3 more counts of felony murder with each of those charges.
Facing the possibility of a capital murder trial, he took a plea and is serving a 20-year sentence. But in prison, crimes against children are the most despised.
Even though I didn't do those things that they said I did, it's still a crime involving a child. And then you got a lot of people around here who just don't like things like that, I've had people call me free pick, hypocrite, sissy, child killer. One guy calls me the professor. Another guy calls me XP, which is short for Christmas package.
The names seem like something out of high school, but in prison, each one is a label. A brand that opened English up for the worst kind of attacks. It began simply over a CD player.
It was involving gangsters, gangbangers. Person was supposed to be a, OG Crip. And I had something he wanted. There was a CD player I had, and he saw the CD player, and he used to come and listen to it all the time.
The CD player was stolen. And when the gang member got put in the hole, Adrian English acquired another dangerous label.
And so all of a sudden, I've got my name being dragged through the mud, people thinking I'm a snitch. And that is the worst label to have in prison. You will get killed for being a snitch. I've seen it happen.
English wasn't killed, but he says something else happened. Something he refers to simply as it.
So they moved me to the cell of another inmate, and he knew what was going on. Push came to shove, worse came to worse. I fought, and I fought, and there's only so much fighting you gotta do, but in the end it wasn't enough, and the man knocked me out. And when I came to, it was pretty much over and done with, The first 24 hours are always the worst, because you're in shock, you're numb. You think about what happened, why it happened. You try to justify it, you try to rationalize it. You blame yourself. You think that there's something wrong with yourself. They always talk about it happening to women out there. They don't really like talking about it happening to men because, we're supposed to be macho. We have a line that just can't be crossed. And that line was crossed with me,
Rape is the secret in prison few will talk about. And although the prison launched an investigation, there was not enough evidence to support the charges.
In some ways, it's made me bitter. In some ways, it's made me more cynical. In some ways, it's made me angrier. It's definitely wounded and scarred me.
Whether it happened or not, Adrian English put himself in a kind of psychological isolation. He hopes this retreat will keep him out of harm's way at Hayes. But in prison, There is no escape.